Every town has its legends. Stories whispered late at night, half warnings, half entertainment. But what if one of those legends wasn't a story at all? What if it was the trace of something darker, a tragedy buried in plain sight? If stories like this send a chill down your spine, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell, because there are more mysteries like Anna's waiting in the shadows. Now, let's return to Route 19. On Route 19, a lonely stretch of highway winding through rural Pennsylvania, drivers tell the same chilling story, a young woman, stranded on the roadside, asking for a ride. She gives her name as Anna. But before the ride ends, Anna vanishes. No sound, no explanation. Just gone. Route 19 is the kind of road that feels haunted even in daylight. Dense pine forests crowd the shoulders. Long stretches pass with no gas stations, no towns, not even another car. Locals say you can drive for miles and feel as though you're the only person left in the world. It's along this highway, usually at night, when the story begins. The earliest reports appeared in the early 2000s. A truck driver recalled pulling over for a woman in her 20s, standing in the rain by mile marker 47. He described her as pale, with long dark hair plastered to her face. She wore a light dress, out of place for the weather. She told him her name was Anna, and asked for a ride to the old bridge outside of town. The trucker agreed, but less than a mile later, he realized the passenger seat was empty. He swore he never heard the door open. When he told coworkers, they laughed, but over the next year, other drivers reported the same thing. Always at night. Always near the bridge. Always the same girl, with the same name. The bridge Anna supposedly asked for has its own reputation. Built in the 1940s, it crosses a steep ravine where multiple fatal accidents have occurred. Locals already considered it cursed, cars skidding on wet pavement, motorcycles failing to make the turn. Adding a phantom hitchhiker only deepened its notoriety. By 2005, Route 19 had become a dare for teenagers. Late at night, they drive the stretch hoping to spot her. Some claimed they saw her standing on the roadside. Others swore she appeared in the back seat of their car. But one detail connected every story: the girl never made it across the bridge. At first, authorities dismissed the accounts as folklore. State police chalked it up to teenagers, alcohol, and small-town hysteria. But one officer admitted off-record that he too had seen something. Driving home after a night shift, he spotted a young woman walking along the shoulder. He slowed, but when his headlights swept past her, she was gone. For years, Anna was treated as a ghost story. That changed in 2008, when a local history teacher cross-referenced the accounts with missing persons records. He found something chilling. In 1982, a young woman named Anna Delgado had vanished on her way home from a nearby town. She was last seen leaving a diner late at night, planning to take a bus that never arrived. The last bus driver on duty swore she hadn't boarded. The detail that made everyone pause: Anna Delgado lived less than 5 miles from the bridge on Route 19. Her younger brother, now an adult, spoke to reporters when the connection surfaced. His voice cracked as he remembered, Anna was only 19 when she disappeared. She had her whole life ahead of her. For years, we thought she just ran away. But hearing her name, hearing these drivers describe her, it felt like she was reaching out. Other family members agreed. The descriptions of the hitchhiker matched Anna perfectly. Same age, same dark hair, same pale complexion. Not everyone believed. Skeptics argued the hitchhiker was nothing more than mass hysteria, an urban legend stitched together from grief and coincidence. But if it was only a legend, how could so many witnesses, from truckers to police officers, describe the same woman, down to her voice and her request for the bridge? In 2012, hikers exploring the woods beyond the bridge stumbled across a rusted vehicle at the bottom of the ravine. The car was barely recognizable, its frame twisted and eaten away by decades of rust. But records confirmed it was a 1978 Chevrolet Malibu, the same car Anna Delgado had borrowed from a friend the night she disappeared. Inside, investigators found scraps of fabric, charred and faded. Enough to suggest that Anna's disappearance hadn't been a runaway case at all. Officially, the case should have ended there. A tragic accident, hidden in the ravine for 30 years. But for locals, the discovery only raised more questions. Why had so many people seen Anna after her death? Why did she always ask for the bridge, but never cross it? And perhaps most chilling of all, the evidence inside the car suggested something else had happened that night. Something that didn't match the story of a simple crash. But if the wreck explained her fate, why did so many people still claim to see her decades after her death? And what investigators found inside the vehicle suggested this was no ordinary crash. When the 1978 Chevrolet Malibu was hauled from the ravine, investigators expected to find little more than rusted metal and decayed fabric. But as they combed through the wreckage, they noticed anomalies. The driver's side door was bent outward, as if forced open. The seatbelts showed no signs of stress, meaning no one had been strapped in during the crash. Most disturbing of all, the ignition had been removed, the wiring exposed. If this had been a simple accident, why was the car tampered with? Inside a weather-warped glove box, they found a compact mirror, its glass cracked, and a fragment of a leather purse. Faint initials, AD, were still visible. But there were no bones. No body. No proof that Anna had died there. Rumors spread quickly. Some believed Anna had been forced off the road, her car deliberately staged to look like an accident. Others thought she'd escaped the crash, only to meet a darker fate somewhere else. And then came the supernatural explanations. To those who swore they'd given Anna a ride, the empty car explained everything. They believed her spirit had been searching for closure, bound to Route 19, doomed to replay the night she vanished. But one question lingered: if she died that night, where was her body? Digging into the original police report revealed troubling gaps. Anna had been last seen leaving Murphy's Diner after a late shift. Co-workers recalled her mentioning she was afraid to walk alone, but the bus never came. She borrowed a friend's car, the Malibu later found in the ravine. But police never searched the ravine at the time. In fact, the search radius stopped short of the bridge. Why? Some claimed the area was too dense, too difficult. Others whispered of deliberate neglect. Adding to the suspicion, Anna's case file contained vague notations: domestic dispute, runaway possibility. It was easier, perhaps, for authorities to assume she left willingly than to admit a young woman had vanished under their watch. Anna's brother gave another interview after the car was found. His voice trembled as he spoke: "We never believed she just left. She wouldn't do that to us. When the car was pulled out, it broke me all over again. Because now we know she was out there all this time, and no one looked. And yet, I don't think she died in that car. Something else happened. Her mother passed away never knowing the truth, always leaving a candle in the window on November nights, the anniversary of her disappearance. Even after the discovery, sightings of the hitchhiker didn't stop. In fact, they increased. One couple reported in 2015 that a young woman flagged them down on a rainy night near the bridge. She climbed in the back seat, shivering, whispering only her name, Anna. They offered her a blanket. But when they pulled into town minutes later, the back seat was empty, the blanket folded neatly. Truckers, police officers, and locals added their voices. Always the same description: pale, dark-haired, frightened. Always asking for the bridge. In 2016, investigators ran DNA tests on the fabric and items recovered from the wreck. Traces of female DNA were found, consistent with Anna's family. But a second profile emerged: male, unidentified. This raised chilling possibilities. Was Anna not alone in the car that night? Was someone else involved in her disappearance? Police reopened the case briefly, citing new evidence, but without a body, without witnesses willing to come forward, the case stalled again. One theory emerged from interviews with locals. In the weeks before her disappearance, Anna was reportedly seen in the company of an older man, described vaguely as tall, thin, with dark hair streaked with gray. Some recalled him picking her up outside the diner. Others said he lingered near the bus stop late at night. Who was he? Was he the last person to see Anna alive? Or just another ghost folded into the story? Some believers tied this figure to the sightings, suggesting that Anna wasn't the only one haunting Route 19. The legend of the vanishing hitchhiker is hardly unique to Route 19. Versions appear worldwide, spectral women asking for rides, vanishing before reaching their destination. But in most towns, these are just stories. On Route 19, there was a real girl named Anna Delgado. A real car in a real ravine. A real missing persons case. The overlap between folklore and fact blurred the lines. Was Anna's story just an urban legend grafted onto her disappearance? Or was the legend born because of her disappearance? The bridge still stands, weathered and patched but functional. Drivers still report an uneasy feeling as they cross, a pressure in the air, a sudden chill, headlights flickering for no reason. Some refuse to drive it after dark. Paranormal investigators have flocked to the site. Recordings capture faint voices, what some swear are whispers of a woman crying for help. Thermal cameras show unexplained cold spots. But skeptics argue it's confirmation bias, people hearing what they want to hear. The most recent reported sighting came in 2021. A college student, driving alone, claimed a young woman appeared in her passenger seat without warning. Pale, soaked from rain, staring straight ahead. When the student slammed on the brakes, the woman turned, whispered, "Don't let it happen again," and vanished. The phrase haunted her. What did Anna mean? Don't let what happened happen again. Another death? Another cover-up? Theories that remain. 1. The paranormal theory. Anna died tragically that night in 1982, her spirit bound to Route 19, forever trying to cross the bridge she never made it past. 2. The cover-up theory. Anna was forced off the road, abducted or murdered. The car was staged, evidence buried. The continued sightings are guilt, rumor, and hysteria shaping themselves into a legend. 3. The double victim theory. The unidentified male DNA suggests Anna wasn't alone. Perhaps she wasn't the only victim, or perhaps her killer rode with her, leaving behind a trace. 4. The warning theory. Believers in the paranormal say Anna's appearances are not just echoes, but warnings. That someone else will vanish on Route 19 if the truth is never uncovered. Today, the official record lists Anna Delgado as a missing person, presumed dead. Her car sits in an evidence lot, rusted and silent. The case is closed, but the sightings are not. Every year, new reports emerge. Drivers who swear they saw her. Voices on recordings. Whispers at the bridge. So the question remains, who was the man in Anna's car? Why did authorities fail to search the ravine? And what exactly did Anna mean when she whispered, "Don't let it happen again"? On Route 19, the line between urban legend and unsolved crime grows thinner with every passing year. And if you ever find yourself driving that lonely stretch of highway at night, remember, some passengers don't stay until the end of the ride.